Here I am at the root burn shelter up and just going to go through some gear I'm going to take with me on the 5 passes multi-day hike. Root burn goes across the range to Milford section, so you're kind of going from Mount Expiry National Park to Fiordland National Park, whereas I'm sort of sticking in Mount Aspiring heading northwestish. This is about a 5 to 6 day hike recommended. I don't know how long it's going to take, as I usually do them quicker, but it is quite rough terrain. Thought I'd go over some of the gear I'm going to take on this hike. I'm starting big, so everything you see here is what I'll be taking. So starting big, this is the pack I'll be using here, my trusty Hyperlight pack. It's beat up. It's really beat up now, but the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the waterproofing, because there is a river ford I have to do, so that's why I brought this blue garbage bag to stick inside it. It's a little bit, you can see on the bottom here, it's starting to wear through a little bit at some points, and it's getting some nasty gashes, and it's just the waterproofing side of it's kind of gone a bit, but it's still a really good pack just because it's stuff fill, and I'll show you that later what I mean by that. Sleeping bag, my enlightened equipment, quilts. It's getting warm now. I'm not sure if I'm going to need my thermal liner, this one over here, but I'm going to bring it anyway just in case. This is kind of like the week of New Zealand where spring has finally come. I usually put it in this bag just to separate it in case some damp things go in my bag as well, and I just throw my bedding in this, just keeps it a little bit separate. Pillow, I don't know why I never carried one of these in the first place. They're so good, they don't weigh anything, they blow up super easy. We have my Hubba Hubba tent, 2-person tent. I've been using it for a few years now, absolutely love it. Again, you'll see I don't have things in bags, and I'll show you why later. So yeah, it's a bit messy looking, not as compact as some other, it will fit in that bag, trust me. I've got a raincoat here. It's pretty crap really. It's more of a wind protector and just takes a bit of the initial dampness off. If it's elongated rain though, it will do absolutely nothing. This is my brand new ground sheet. So this is my original one on the bottom here. This is my Tyvek, and you can see like it's like a piece of fabric now. So I have a piece of polyethylene I bought from just the gardening section of the local hardware store here. It's a little bit heavier, but Tyvek's just really hard to find here, so it'll do. It's exactly the same size. I'm not sure how much it weighs, probably like 300 grams or so, I don't know. My trusty Cedar Summit Comfort Light sleeping pad, inflatable. It's really good. It's probably my favourite piece of gear I've got. Can't go without my trekking poles, absolutely love them. This trip is going, I don't know if you can see up there, but I am going to be quite high in the mountains. About 1600 meters I think is the highest point, so maybe not as high as directly those peaks there, but there will be snow. So I am taking my micro spikes here and my ice axe. I'll definitely need the spikes, but I hope I don't need the ice axe, but I probably might. Have here, these are my homemade firelighters. I just use makeup pads with a bit of wax, candle wax, and also chest rub. They work really, really well. If you haven't tried this before, it's firelighter methods, really good. They burn like a little bit longer than if you just normally burn paper and stuff, because you're in this type of forest here, it's just always wet. So I don't always have a fire, but sometimes when firewood's around and and you get to camp early, sometimes it's nice to just gather a bit of wood and have a nice fire. So I'll hopefully get at least 1 or 2 fires going. Got my microfiber towel. It's like a $10 piece of crap towel, but I've been carrying it for ages and never seen a reason to replace it. It works really well. My jet bowl over here. Yeah, that's a pink spoon. I lost my titanium spoon on the Kepler track just a few days ago, and some lady there kindly said that someone left a spoon in one of the huts I was staying at, so there it is, my pink spoon replacement. I've yet to find another titanium one. They're really good because they're long, the titanium ones, so it'll do for now. Trusty Hellfest cup, yeah, always comes, it's great, heavy duty and light. That gas will last me ages. I'm starting to go for the big ones over the small ones just because I feel like they're just more peace of mind carrying one big one instead of sometimes 1.5 small ones when you're halfway through one. I take the lighter, don't always need it. Jet bottl's self-igniting, but it's just a backup. Sunscreen, real big in New Zealand, you need it, especially it's starting to open up now about 4 hours in the middle of the day. You will just get incinerated. I learned on the Kepler track at how quickly you can burn. I take that little lip balm because your lips burn quite easily and you get wind chafe, so they're really good. Smudge use of spades, it's like a little trowel to dig cat holes for when you need to go number 2. Super good, easy. I use that with that. I don't use that when I'm digging holes because I don't want to bury this. This doesn't biodegrade. Well, this is something I'll pack out. I usually wipe sweat off and stuff so you don't get chafe with the wet wipes, but that's, yeah, obviously toilet. This is I got this from the States. It's Foot Glide. They ran out of Body Glide, but it's basically a lubricant. I get like thigh chafe and stuff when I'm hiking sometimes, and it's really good. Butt chafe is another one. You don't get too much on short hikes, but long hikes you get butt chafe. Really good stuff. This knife is pretty much all I need. It's just a single blade knife with a bottle opener. That's it. I don't need anything else for cutting or other than a spoon and a knife. Forks are absolutely pointless. Sporks are absolutely pointless. Spoon, knife, that's it. This is not actually Aerogard. This is Dettol mixed with baby oil, and this is the anti-sandfly combo. Some people put methylated spirits in it too, but I just couldn't find any, and to be honest, I don't really need it. It works so well. So good do-it-yourself anti-sandfly. You can see all the sandflies flying around now. They're just, New Zealand loves them. This is my first aid. I literally take a couple of band-aids, mainly for blisters if I get them. I don't usually get them, but they're just there, or to cover up, say, heavy bleeding wounds. Safety pins are good if you get rips. Earplugs. I'm not going to need them on this, but I don't think that I just bring them anyway. Sometimes something really loud's going on, you just quiet down. I have a zip tie. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to show you. On my pack, I have attached. This is my PLB. So this is a locator beacon. Pull that down, set up the antenna, and I can be rescued if something catastrophic happens. So, and it's got a mirror if I want to signal. So that's my emergency backup, and you can see I've attached it with a zip tie. Pretty simple. There's just another one there in case that one falls off. This is for wet gear, garbage bag. Don't intend to use it, but you never know. Headlamp, really important. Compass, I never really use them, but they're just there for backup if my phone goes down. Yeah, basically the compass is I've got here paper maps under this. There's like trail notes that I have from one of my books and paper maps. I don't always hike with paper maps, but just sometimes when I'm real backcountry off trail I take them. And I want to read the trail notes on this just because some of it is quite off trail on this hike. Some of it's not just a marked trail. It starts off on a marked trail and it ends on a marked trail, but it doesn't go through with one. So if anything, that's just good fire starters, but it's there for backup. They only come with me, like paper maps and the compass only come with me on non-marked trails. If I'm on a marked trail, there's absolutely no point. They're so well marked and trails are so easy to see in New Zealand. And if you've got a GPS phone, like I use topo maps on my phone, it is perfectly good. To cover the phone use, I have 2 power banks. That is overkill, but sometimes in my tent at night and I'm chilling, I might watch a movie or something and use a lot of power, so I just bring 2, whatever. Tent's like 20,000 milliamp hours all up. 2 charging cables, earplugs. Obviously I need my key for my car, camera. That's all that. So clothes. Because it's warming up, I've got these 2 puffies are relatively the same thing. They're both just like thin down jackets. This is my old one, the Mountain Highway Ghost Whisperer. It's pretty beat up and thin, so doesn't offer a lot of warmth, but it's good for layering. So this one's a little bit, it's kind of like they were kind of look similar, but this one's a little bit bigger. So that one and that one goes underneath if I need it, but I probably don't need one of them. 2 extra pairs of underwear, 2 extra pairs of socks. These are really good socks. Yeah, I know I'm going to get my feet wet today, so I didn't put them on because I didn't want to dry them. Beanie, little gloves, good. Bug net, maybe use it. I always use a buff for the sun and cold. They're just absolutely fantastic, at least 1 or 2 of them. And thermal layer on top and bottom. And I stick the clothes in that little mesh bag just to kind of keep it all together. Food wise, I mean, I'm not going to go through it all, but basically that's about roughly 5, potentially 6 days worth of food for me. So it's 4 dinners, 1, 2, actually 5 dinners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dinners. You got oats for breakfasts, plenty of lunches. I ate pretty luxury lunches, that, and I even bought an avocado, and just mixed snacks, really. A big bag, my trusty mix of shit from I did on the PCT. Condensed milk, coffee. Yep. That's it. So that's my 5 to 6 days on the 5 passes. I do plan on doing some alternate routes. I'm going to some lakes, so we'll see how we go with that.